Oh, there it goes. Helps if I add myself to the stream. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Paris Procopa Show. It is my first broadcast of the year 2021, the same year as the movie Mad Max. So, yep, that takes place in 2021. So again, and it's starting to look rather interesting. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting few days. Obviously, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Tuesday, we have the runoff elections in Georgia that'll determine the makeup of the United States Senate, and it's going to be rather interesting how that turns out. I'm so torn. I'm not torn. I want the Republicans to win, but I'm not excited about the Republicans that are running. But definitely better than any of the Democrats, especially what's that guy's name? Warnock, the guy running against Loeffler or whatever. He is bat blank crazy. So don't know what get a good way. Hello, Shannon. Yeah, John Paul. Way to go, Paul Ryan. Oh, I'm going to be talking about that. Make no mistake about that. I'm so sick of these holier than thou politicians. I've been, who think they're so much better than everybody else. And that type of thing. And I've tried to keep it professional. I'm trying to, I'm trying to be more, for lack of a better word, inclusive. No, I'm just trying to, everybody's entitled to their opinions. However, it needs to be tempered with common sense, but the gloves are off. I'm done. I'm done. What do they say? Pussyfooting around or whatever. I'm just done. I always have a certain degree of finesse and candor when I'm doing this stuff, because I have friends who are liberal, and I'm talking really good friends. These are people I care about and what have you that are liberal. We can have a discussion about something and we part as friends, and it is, I'm just, we're getting on this Paul Ryan thing. I didn't want to talk about him right away, but I guess I may be doing that. Well, first of all, I guess it all kind of ties together, and I'm going to grab an article here because today Paul Ryan reared his ugly head. I mean, it just out of the blue. He's been somewhat quiet since he's kind of left the speaker's house, except for he's been publicly quiet. But I know I have enough people on the inside to know that he's not been privately quiet. He detests Donald Trump and doesn't like his style, that kind of thing. Oh my God, he tweets. Yes, Kathy saying Paul Ryan is not the man, is now who we thought he was. Well, absolutely. We thought he was a never Trumper, and it's coming out now. Scumbag. And you could throw names out there. Great. I'm not going to say it. Keep it within reason, people. Keep it within reason. But yeah, I guess you can say he's a scumbag, a political scumbag. I know him, I've met him personally, and I know his family, like his family and stuff like that, but he's really beginning to piss me off. And as many of you know, in 2016, I did work in a campaign that ran against him in a Republican primary. Not the best candidate in the world. However, I don't regret doing it because Paul Ryan needed a message. He's not this, years ago, he was this Ayn Rand type of conservative who went into the U.S. Congress. Yes, optimistic young guy, and he had this, but then he got tainted by the Kool-Aid, so to speak, in the House of Representatives, the power, having the power, being part of the oligarchy and control. I'm going to check my messages here. Hello, Happy New Year, Dawn. How you doing? Happy New Year, everybody else. Everybody's going there. So let me pull up this article. So former House Speaker sides with Biden. Let me get rid of these ads. I hate these ads that pop up all over the place randomly. So anyway, former House Speaker sides with Biden, calls pro-Trump Republicans anti-conservative and anti-democratic. Well, anti-democrat is one thing. Anti-conservative, what the heck is he talking about? We're talking about the rule of law here. Everything that President Trump is doing is constitutional. He's not skirting any laws. He's challenging things the way things are spelled out in the 12th Amendment, 14th Amendment, and various other ones going through this, with the cases being brought forth by several of the legislatures around the country. The Sidney Powell case, the Lynn Wood cases and stuff like that. It is just crazy. And I wish I had this. When I was working for that campaign, I had a meme out there. It was a Paul Ryan bobblehead doll, and I found the ad. So I grabbed the ad and I put on there, "Sorry, sold out." So thank you for the for the reminder there, Ed Delgado. But anyway, never Trump Republicans are coming out of the woodwork to denounce anyone who still supports President Trump. The latest to jump on the wagon is former Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, a vice presidential candidate. And those of you who are saying, "Oh, you're just disliking Paul Ryan because he's anti-Trump." Okay. I don't dislike anybody because they're anti-Trump. Everybody's entitled to their own damn opinion. But what I have issue with, and this needs to be tempered with common sense. For Paul Ryan to be anti-Trump at this moment is pissing all over the people who are concerned that their election was stolen. And this isn't one or two little, I saw a guy who knew a guy that did this. This is real life affidavits from hundreds, if not thousands of people writing out, this is what happened, X, Y, and Z. We were kicked out of the room. We weren't allowed to witness the counting. They were including ballots that were supposedly mailed in, but yet they weren't creased. The voting machines had connections to the internet, things like that. That's all stuff that has to be investigated. Do I have proof that it actually happened? Probably not at this point, but somebody does. There's evidence out there. And the argument is not a single court has stepped in to believe Trump's evidence. They haven't seen the evidence. Every one of these court cases has been dismissed on standing. You don't have the right to sue for this because you weren't harmed. Anyway, so I'm livid right now. So Ryan, it should be noted, is also a member of the board of directors of Fox Corp. Go figure. What happened to Fox News recently in the past year or so? Very anti-Trump in most cases. The only people they didn't get rid of are, the main commentators, because they make money off of those commentators, the Sean Hannity's, the Tucker Carlson's, Laura Ingram's. I guarantee, though, that Newsmax and some of the other organizations are making big overtures to these folks to get them over there. Joe Biden's victory is entirely legitimate. Paul Ryan, while I would love it to be legitimate, and I've said before, if we can show that these things didn't happen, I would accept Joe Biden as the victor. Wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd accept it. efforts to reject the votes of the Electoral College and sow doubt about Joe Biden's victory strike at the foundation of our republic. But the fact that people's votes no longer matter because the Democrats are just going to manufacture votes, that has nothing to do with our republic. Paul Ryan, you've been sleeping in bed with your former Democrat lobbyist wife for way too long. I guarantee that you're basically a closet Democrat. It is difficult to conceive a more anti-democratic, anti-conservative act than the federal intervention overturned the results of the state-certified election to disenfranchise millions of Americans. What do you think the cheating does? What about the cheating disenfranchising millions of Americans? The Democrats did this. I'm livid right now. I mean, Paul Ryan is in a rare statement. He's trying to make himself of interest again because I'm sure he wants to run for president. So I just here. Let me stop sharing my screen. I'm just leaving Paul Biden. Well, yeah, he wants to get a big job as a commentator on Fox News or something. And pardon me. Whoop. I'm going through some of the. Oh my goodness. I won't read it. You guys can read it, but this is very blunt. Yep. And brilliant point, Stephanie. He's coming against us, not just President Trump. This is the whole thing. It's okay. The fact of the matter is, if Donald Trump has exhausted all legal options and everything falls through and he doesn't do the Insurrection Act or anything like that, Biden will be president. But there's nothing wrong with him exhausting every legal option he has at his fingertips, up to and including the Insurrection Act. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things we can credit Trump with, but this exposing them, and they're freaking out right now. And it's weird how the media is complicit in all this. Journalism is dead. It just. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Well, people say, well, that was the Paul Ryan tax cut. Paul Ryan did it because he had to save face with his base. Remember how he screwed us on Obamacare? That wasn't Donald Trump. That was Paul Ryan. Because you remember back in January of 2016, the Republicans the Republicans, but then President Obama, the Republicans sent a bill to defund Obama or to eliminate Obamacare. They sent the bill to Barack Obama, which of course he vetoed. But then when they actually had someone who would actually sign the repeal of Obamacare, I don't have the votes. I can't get it passed. Symbolism over substance, symbolic votes. Remember how he promised, we're going to change the rules in Congress so you only vote on one issue at a time. Yeah, Paul Ryan, you have failed. God, I'm sounding like the candidate that I used to work for. But I mean, there were a lot of reasons to go after Paul Ryan politically at the time. Once again, bad messenger, but the message was there. Paul Ryan did cause a lot of problems. And now he wants to probably run for president, or he might run for U.S. Senate. I don't know if Ron Johnson's going to run again. I hope he does. But then again, I totally respect him if he doesn't, because he also campaigned and promised he would only run for 2 terms. And this is the end of his second term. So I'm okay with that. But So be it. So I don't know. But then we also have governor's race here in Wisconsin coming up in 2 years. So God only knows what's going to happen. Well, you guys are on fire tonight. Big can of twisted tea. Well, I'm not condoning physical violence, but but this is okay. Everybody's been saying Paul Ryan is a closet never Trumper. He has come out of the closet. And there are other never Trumpers. And the never Trumpers in the state of Wisconsin, and there are many in the hierarchy of the state of Wisconsin. They are the ones who are significantly backing Rebecca Kleefisch for governor. Now, I'm not saying Rebecca Kleefisch is a never Trumper. I personally don't think she was very vocal in supporting him, but that's a different conversation. But just remember that when we have a whole slew of candidates that are going to be running for governor. And I might go through that list a little bit later here. But let's go back. We've got the runoff election in Georgia. It's a big deal. If you guys, I don't know if anybody watches my show from Georgia. I've had people from all over the country watching my show. I'm telling you, it's do or die. If we do not win those Georgia runoff seats, it's over. There will be 4 more Democrat senators. Well, live long and prosper. I'm showing off my geek side. Nanu. Yes, Robin Williams rocked. Okay. But just looking here. And tonight we're hearing minority leader is colluding to compromise. Oh, McCarthy better not do that. Let those. Okay. To my Democrat friends, and I know there's some of you out there watching, to my people on the left. What is wrong with investigating the allegations? If you are so hell-bent that Joe Biden had a legitimate victory, more people voted than ever before, more people voted for Joe Biden than voted for Barack Obama in 2008, then by all means, you are in no harm of losing this election because we're investigating the fraud allegations. If you've got nothing to be afraid of, your guy was legitimately made the victor. What have you got to lose? And on top of that, it's going to make people like me look like, okay, like it is because we weren't able to prove our case, whatever. What is wrong with investigating? Why are the Democrats standing in the way of each and every procedure to get the evidence looked at? And if the evidence is looked at, I think it's pretty overwhelming that there's something going on. When you have a president-elect, potentially, who has been, who was underperforming everywhere in the country, except for those specific areas. Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and I argue Richmond, and I argue Minneapolis, and some other places too. And I think this is what most of the procedures that they had in place on November 3rd are still in place today. The Democrats can win those Senate seats. Make no mistake about it. If you're going to Washington, D.C. to go to the Trump rally on Wednesday, do not leave your city in Georgia until you have voted. Vote early, get in there, and vote. The only silver lining is Loeffler had a primary with another Republican in the race too. The state of Georgia does it all. Everybody just goes into the big pot and then boop, the two victors if nobody gets to 15% or 50%. So Loeffler and there was one other Republican. If you combine their numbers, it was around 60% versus Warnock, which, he got whatever he got. So that tells me that we should be able to pick up Loeffler. And Purdue's going to be tight. But barring any complication, we should be able to pick up Purdue. So I'm holding out hope. It's a no-brainer. No matter what happens with Trump, we need to get the Senate. Yep. And you might be right, Megas. It may be over. And if it's over, then I blame people like Paul Ryan. Quite frankly, people like Scott Walker, who did absolutely zero to help Trump in this state. He was showing his face the past 6 months or so, but did not lift a finger. When you have Tommy Thompson, our former governor, who is knocking on the door of 80 years old and, in danger of getting COVID, he's older. He's old. It is what it is. No, no offense to Tommy Thompson, but he's out there shilling for President Trump proudly. When you got Brian Stile down in the congressman down in, it looks like I'm falling. This is kind of fun. Sorry, I was just looking at me. But you got Brian Stile down, congressman in, South for Paul Ryan's former seat, ironically enough, totally championing Donald Trump publicly. So all you never Trumpers, when the Democrats have 4 more Senate seats and they stack the Supreme Court, it's your fault. I'm not even going to blame the libertarians. If we were united, we'd be able to get these things investigated. But because you never Trumpers, we don't like President Trump. Oh my goodness, because he tweets. I don't like that he tweets. Why does he have to tweet? Guys are a bunch of pussies. Pardon my language, people, but there's just the Democrats are playing to win. I give them credit. They don't stop fighting. And we've got a major decision to make as to what direction the party is going to be going in going forward. Are the Republican Party leaders, like, dare I say, Paul Ryan, do they have any idea what happened election night? Regardless of the cheating, let's assume there was no cheating and Donald Trump lost. And Donald Trump really didn't get, 12, 13 million more votes than he did in 2016. Let's assume all that. The Republicans picked up seats in the House, almost got the House. The Republicans potentially are keeping the Senate. But at the very least, it's 50-50. Where Trumpism won. Donald Trump doubled his black vote, got the most black vote in several decades for a Republican. Got the most Hispanic vote ever for a Republican. Yeah, Dawn, that's a brilliant point. They attack each other. The Democrats do attack each other. But you notice how AOC voted for Pelosi today for Speaker of the House. So that pretentious old hag is still Speaker of the House. And they're going to say, you wouldn't say that about a male Speaker of the House. Oh, yeah. I've said it about plenty of male speakers. So anyway, I'm fired up because I'm just mad. But like I said, we got to decide who's going to be taking the Republican Party going forward. The Paul Ryans, the Charlie Sykes of the world, all these people that my good friend Bob Donnell calls Judas goats. If you don't know the term Judas goat, I guess it's the term that all the goat herders would use. They'd train one goat that all the other goats would follow, and then they follow them to the slaughter. That's essentially what these never Trump Lincoln Project moronic Republicans are. But what they don't realize, they need us more than we need them. You see, Donald Trump still has 85% of the Republican Party support. And Donald Trump still has all those Reagan Democrats who crossed over, the blue collar Republicans, conservatives, and that type of thing, patriotic Americans. He still has them. So you Republicans who are so excited to be back in power, potentially, you never Trumpers who didn't lift a finger to support things like historic agreements with Israel, things like not getting us into any other wars. Donald Trump did not give us a single war over and above what was there before, which is part of the reason some of the establishment people, the hacks like Bolton, Michael Bolton, John Bolton, Michael Bolton. Sorry, dude. Michael Bolton's a singer. John Bolton, former ambassador, whatever. I didn't like him back then. He's another Bushy. If you think the Paul Ryans and the Jeb Bushes and the other morons who are part of the Lincoln Project are going to come back, Mitt Romney, if you think you'll ever be president, hell no. I'm taking back everything I said to the libertarians who, and people say, well, if it wasn't for the libertarian, Trump would have won. No, if it wasn't for the cheating, Trump would have won. Even if the libertarians all voted for Trump, the Democrats would have had enough votes to beat Donald Trump. I guarantee they would have been able to manufacture enough votes to do it. And not being some conspiracy theorist here. I know people who have video and photos and all this stuff, all these things. There's so much evidence out there of shenanigans. And it's all the Democrats changing the rules so they can win. They're the ones that, like in the state of Wisconsin, you could just declare yourself indefinitely confined with COVID. Well, the Supreme Court did tell them you can't do that, but you have to go through each ballot one by one. Well, I say to you, Republican leaders of Wisconsin, Republican Party leaders of Wisconsin, Robin Voss, how many of those ballots have you investigated, thrown out yet? There are over 200,000 indefinitely confined. How many of them were you able to prove? This was a couple weeks ago now that the Supreme Court ruled. Why are you guys not screaming into the high heavens? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love this. If this is true, but I guarantee the broadcast system, the broadcasters will cut off his feed just to prevent him from talking, from getting the American people. But we will win. So yeah, I got a little heated tonight when I saw that about Paul Ryan. It's like, Why the who the hell is he? Who does it think he is? Okay, you don't like Donald Trump. Your prerogative. I get that. It's a free country. You can like or not like who you want. This is unpatriotic, unconservative. Well, you, sir, are the one who's not conservative. You and your Democrat lobbyist wife. Yeah, we all know. And there's these rumors going around about your secret love child and stuff like that. And I never once talked about it. I just did. You're not as holier than thou as you make yourself out to be. So, speaking of holy, oh wow, we got David King in the house. Pastor David King, how are you? So I'm just. I don't think he should be able to remain. I don't think he'll be able to remain in office at some point. I don't know. The only way he could remain in office if he institutes the Insurrection Act, and I think we may be at the point, or we might be just past the point where it might be too late. I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, is there any dirt on Robin Voss? Make sure you private message me if you have some information on there, because there's he's clearly never Trump. Yeah, Trump will never concede, but I don't know. At some point, he may actually have to be in a government in exile. Oh hell, we had Barack Obama running a shadow government. Why shouldn't Donald Trump run a shadow government? Tit for tat. Yes, definitely. He sold out a long time ago. Hey, Patty, are you back from Georgia? Patty was out there helping in Georgia, so I'm hoping. But on the flip side, let's assume Tuesday night goes very well and Loeffler and Perdue win overwhelmingly. That's going to be more proof that Donald Trump did not lose Georgia. So you're still there. I don't know if I have a juicy article on Ryan, so I'll leave that up to everybody else. He's, gives up on enough rope, they eventually hang themselves in that respect. But let's talk a little bit about the governor's race here. We've got a governor's race coming there. Oh, Stephanie, I love you. You're my favorite redhead. Governor's race, and I'm only at 35 minutes. Wow, seems like I've been talking forever. I've just been so heated. Okay. Governor's race. So here's my list. I'm kind of handicapping a list here of all the people that I think may be running for governor. And where's my note? I wrote down all these. All my notes, where are they? Sorry, guys. I'm got to remember this is live. Okay, here we go. I've got a whole list on my handy dandy iPad. I've just been jotting a list down of people. And so we've got a man by the name of Kevin Hermaning, who might be running. Kevin Hermaning is he's from Northwest Wisconsin. Real great guy. He was on my show once too. I got to get him on again because he's also, I hate to use the word claim to fame, but he was actually one of the hostages in Iran during the hostage situation back in 79, 80. He was one of the hostages. He's one of the Marines there. So very well respected and everything. I mean, I have, someone says Robin Voss will not run He has no respect, but I have Robin Voss as a possible candidate who might be running. Rebecca Kleefisch, of course, who's been running all year long pretty much, which, though, if I could say anything that really bothers me about that, and I know her, I like her. I'm not going to say anything ill of her as a candidate because she might win. I don't know. She's favored by the Republican Party, even though they say they're not. They're going to be neutral. No, they're already starting to try to clear the field for her. But she's been campaigning all summer. We had a presidential race to win. What in bloody hell is she campaigning for governor for? That's not another 2 years. So rumor has it she's going to be announcing tomorrow or the next day. Some people are saying Glenn Grossman, Congressman Grossman, but I think he might want to stay in D.C. a while longer. I don't know. Bill McCoshen, he's a former. Okay, awesome. David King's running for lieutenant governor. Somebody's been calling me, by the way, David. Tell him to give me a call. I forgot I had my phone died and I've had to replace everything on it. So I'm having all kinds of issues. So the past couple of days, I've been basically phoneless. I'll be phoneless until effectively Tuesday. So have him get a hold of me. I'd love to talk to you about that privately. So Paris Prokopis might run. You know, they say I look like Scott Walker. I think I look a lot better than Scott Walker. I don't have a bald spot. So he did call me his Greek stunt double. So, but who knows? Maybe I will run just for the hell of it. Everybody else is running. Eric Hovde has been a name that's been thrown around. If you don't remember Eric Hovde, he ran for United States Senate. He's a kind of a libertarian Republican. Nice guy. Everything like that. So there's also Kevin Nicholson has been very busy. He ran for United States Senate against Leah Vukmir in the primary. Leah Vukmir won the Southeast Wisconsin, but Hovde won the rest of the state. Nicholson won the rest of the state. Now, since losing that, he did endorse Leah afterwards. He was very, pragmatic about it and everything like that. He's been going all around the state, busting his butt to help with Republican causes, conservative causes, with this No Better Friend organization, very much pro Donald Trump out there publicly, and that type of thing. And I'm not saying just support somebody just because they're pro Donald Trump or anti-Trump. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying look at who's working. Like Scott Walker didn't do a damn thing to help Donald Trump, but what he could have done is campaign against Joe Biden. He didn't say a damn thing about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is, senile, and you have Kamala Harris, who is where she is because she happened to give a good blowjob. I'm being blunt and I'm being literal. Look it up. It's real. She slept with the right guy and got appointed to her role as prosecutor or whatever. And that's all the way it is. I'm not trying to be salacious. It is what it is. So anyway, back to here. We said Robert Voss. We said Nicholson, Grothman. I mentioned Bill McCoshen. Bill McCoshen he's a great guy. Smart as a whip. The guy knows how to win. He helped Tommy Thompson win Milwaukee County when he ran for governor. His last time or two. He's a strategist. Some people say he's a lobbyist. Maybe he is. I don't know. But spent a little too much time in Madison, but he didn't drink the Kool-Aid. He's a very smart guy. He'll probably get Tommy Thompson's endorsement. And then there's the other, and I'm using this figuratively, another dark horse candidate. Somebody who's been rearing his head in a good way, unlike Paul Ryan rearing his head in a bad way. But he's been rearing his head lately, and that would be Sheriff David Clark. He's been all over Wisconsin recently, supporting the police, supporting Donald Trump, against the mask bullcrap for Madison. And I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw his hat in the ring. That being said, I kind of want to be strategic about this. What's the worst thing that could happen to the Democrats? They could spend all their money. If David Clark actually ran as a Democrat. And if he wins the primary, we're in a win-win situation. You know? But I don't know if he wants to run for governor. And if what's his name? If Ron Johnson chooses not to run, then maybe it'll be him. Some people are saying Sean Duffy. Yes, Clark is a Democrat to make them spend money. And then who knows? He could win because we could help him win. I think a lot of people would vote in that primary. But who else? Sean Duffy is the other name that's been thrown around. He left Washington, D.C. He's a great guy. He's got star power. His wife has star power. I think she should probably run. I think she'd be great. Rachel Duffy, I believe. But Sean, also there's some questions as to what there's some questions as to why he left Washington, D.C. There might be something salacious there, so I don't know. Another name that's kind of another dark horse. And I literally just thought of this today. I would love it if Deanna Alexander took a shot. Deanna Alexander. And Deanna, if you're watching my show, I know she left politics. She was a county supervisor for many years, beating the uphill battle of, being one of 2 or 3 city or county board members. But Deanna Alexander, she's got a great personality. She's smart as a whip. Probably, I mean, I don't know if she'd want to be governor, but I think she'd be phenomenal. She's tough. She's a great conservative, but she's also very pragmatic. She'll get stuff done. And I think she'd be a great choice. So out of these names that I've named, say my favorites, I'd say I would be willing to give Kevin Nicholson a second look if he would run for governor. And I think the big question would be who would run against. Is Ron Johnson going to run? Because I think Kevin Nicholson would then go for Senate. And there might be a primary in the Senate. And then the big question, Scott Walker's been rearing his head a lot lately. And I don't know if he wants to come back and run for governor again. I can be straightforward and say I would not support Scott Walker in a primary. If he won the nomination, I mean, I'll support any of these people if they won the primary. But I don't. Or is he wanting to come back and run for governor or run for Senate? The strange part about all this is that Ron Johnson, nobody knows what he's planning on doing. When he ran for Senate, he said he would only be here for 2 terms. And And that would, oh yeah. Well, this is a true story. Duffy and Walker are too tight with Ryan, and I don't know if Duffy's still tight with Ryan or not, because Paul Ryan is all about Paul Ryan. He's arrogant. I mean, he's an oligarch. He's in part of the political aristocracy of Washington. He's been jaded. He drank the Kool-Aid a long time ago. You should remember some of the bills that he supported. It's ironic that before he went to Congress, his job was to drive the Wienermobile, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. And it's ironic because hot dogs and some of the legislation he supported are made of the same ingredients. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to talk about that. I don't know if you guys had heard. Look around. He had a phone call with Donald Trump had a phone call with Raffensperger. I know, tangent. Squirrel. I should have a squirrel here just for the heck of it. Squirrel. Donald Trump was talking with Raffensperger today, basically saying something about 11,800 votes. Now, he supposedly lost Georgia by 12,000 some votes. But he keeps saying there's 11,000 votes or some 11,000 votes that were destroyed. And plus they're going to look for other people. But basically saying, that you're committing a crime by submitting false information. But of course, the Washington Post is reporting this. The Washington Post is reporting this as if Donald Trump is trying to pressure him to hand Trump the election. That's not what Trump is doing. He's basically saying, do your frickin' job and you're going to see that I won. It's absolutely ridiculous how the media just, that's the one thing not only are we needing to go, and I'm not saying go, primary people or whatever. There's Democrats who don't like Donald Trump. They wouldn't have voted for Donald Trump. They wouldn't have voted for any of the 17 candidates who ran in the Republican primary in 2016. That's not who I have a beef with. You want to be a Democrat? Be a Democrat. What I have a beef with is these people that pretend to be conservative and not at least support conservative causes. Why in your right mind would you support Joe Biden or any effort to help Joe Biden if you're a conservative? Paul Ryan, why would you want Joe Biden? Oh, we can get him in 4 years. Do you know how much damage a Democrat president could do in 4 years? Especially if they have the House and Senate? Look at all the damage that Barack Obama did just in 2 years when he had full control of the government. 2 years. Look how much damage Obama did. Hey, Patty, I'd love to have you on my show. I'd love to have you tell us what you experienced down there. Yep. Oh, David, it's kind of interesting you're saying this. So the Georgia election data shows 17,000 plus votes switched from Trump to Biden. The data scientists are saying this. Do you know that statistical analysis is actually admissible in court? Are you? I know this is short notice, but are you up for it tonight? Do you have a good internet connection? I could bring you on right now if you wanted to. How are you watching it? If you have an iPhone or whatever, it works fine. If you're feeling adventurous. Yep. Oh, they released the whole transcript? Good. Thank you, Shannon. Yeah, what happened to Drudge Report? They used to be a conservative think tank, place for conservative ideas and stuff like that. Conservative headline. They've been so anti-Trump, and okay, I get that his style isn't for everyone. It's not, but it's, I don't know. His style is so, we like it. He didn't hide it from anybody. He's not one thing and another. Everybody knew what we were getting into. But the things he's done, they aren't killing each other in the Middle East for the first time in a long time right now. Was it 5 or 6 Arab nations recognize the right for Israel to exist? That's something that no president has been able to accomplish. None whatsoever. It's historic, but yet we can't talk about it. He's accomplished so much just with that. And just the court picks. And yes, you can make an argument. There were judges who, I'm looking for something here right now. There were judges who were Trump appointees that dismissed some of his cases for standing. Okay, I get it. But nonetheless, we have more conservative judges, and they're making a big deal, like the Democrats. Oh, he stacked the court. He stacked the court with conservatives. No, he didn't. We're basically about 50% now. Not even 50% yet. Before that, the Democrat or the liberal judges or Democrat appointees were probably 65, 70% of all judges. Now we're about 50% at best. And I get some, there's no guarantee that the judges are going to do everything the way you want it. And I get that. There's no guarantee at all. But there are also a lot of these judges are Trump appointees, are Republican picks. And Patty, check your private message, by the way. I sent you the link you can click to set up. But nonetheless, we're still in much better shape thanks to Donald Trump. Imagine if Hillary Clinton made all those picks. And look at flipping Joe Biden. You Republicans who are willing to let Joe Biden be president. I don't care if you hate Trump. You just hold your tongue until 2024 when you can run one of your guys or whatever, or women or whatever. But I guess I'm beside myself. I'm kind of upset on this. So, yeah, I wonder what if anybody's heard about that, where there's supposedly some pictures going around of Justice John Roberts was apparently on Pedophile Island, and then I'm a little frustrated with Lynn Wood and his talking about Epstein being alive. Okay, if he is alive, okay, pony up the proof. Let's I'm not saying whether it's true or not or whatever. He didn't help Donald Trump with that statement. I'm sorry. He didn't help him at all. And this is another fear. If Biden is sworn in, there won't be a 2024 election. Ed, I think we're at the point where if either one is sworn in, we're at a point where there's going to be a big reset. And maybe we're at a point, and I haven't been at the point. I've been, oh yeah, JFK Jr. is alive too. Yeah, I get that. I'm at the point, I used to not be a supporter. I mean, I like the idea of a whatchamacallit, a Article 5 Convention of States, but I was never a big supporter of it because I thought it'll never happen. There's not a chance in hell. I think maybe it's time to really push for it. And we got to push for these things to reset everything because we just have to. It's possible to do. Pardon me, it's a little dry in here. So, Patty, I don't know if you got the private message I sent you. If you're having issues, don't worry. We'll get you on one of these days, but I'm only going to be on for a little bit, much longer. But, Ed, Hilario. Sweet. I don't think the nation is done, but I think we're due for some conflicts. And I'm not saying armed conflict, although in some of the cities there might be. But I'm not saying, what I'm saying is conflict between states where there's a big group of states that's going to be united in common cause, and there's going to be other states united in their common cause. But we also have a friend of mine who's like in California. We can't give up on this. We can't give up on the American experiment, but we can save it. But it may take some major resets in some things. And that's why I'm thinking Article 5 convention may be the only way to do it. I don't know. The last thing I want is open war. I hope it never comes to that because it's dangerous. Or we may be already at that point. I don't know. It's sad. But I think for the most part, I think we still have a chance. A bigger fear is if we start dividing, we're going to be ripe for the picking by other countries. I mean, they've already talked about, California is going to, if Donald Trump wins re-election, California is going to secede. And then China is going to help California. Yeah, just wait till they're under Chinese control. These snowflakes aren't going to know what they did. Oh well. It is. Let's see. What do we have? I'm going to check for some more news. I'm going to look at, I always go to my Facebook feed just to look, see some other things, kind of getting a lot of people that are, attacking me for going after Paul Ryan. And I'm allowed to go after him. I'm not going to sit and just because someone has an R next to their name. So we're looking at, there's a great meme. If Facebook had existed in 1776, I'm going to save my image. I'll get it up there. I've been seeing some great memes. Oh, and here's the whole thing. And here's my opinion, because the Democrats need to stop bitching that the Republicans will be objecting to the election results. Democrat members of Congress have a long history of challenging election results, just like they did in 1969, 2001, 2005, and 2017. Enough with your righteous indignation. it it ticks me off. Grow your tent based on issues. Yes, absolutely. We need to continue growing the tent. I think Donald Trump went a long way in expanding our tent. He grew our tent. My concern is the Republican leaders are going to do everything they can to shrink that tent again because they want power. I'm not talking elected leaders. I'm talking about people who run the, like in the state of Wisconsin, the Republican Party apparatus. And they're going to try to take over the party because they know better. Oh, we're perfect conservatives. We're better than you are. It I'm just ticked off today. I don't like to do my shows from an emotional standpoint. I try to be very, how would you say it? I try to be very measured in the way I present myself because I like the fact that I could try to rationalize things because when you do things from how would you say it? When you do things from an emotional perspective, you're not thinking right. Like emotionally, I want Donald Trump to win, but I need facts. I need to see the facts. I need to see. I'm very logical in the way it is, and I think they've done a good job. I'm pulling up some information here while we're waiting. And then, oh, did you hear about the teacher? Okay, yeah, Patty can't join us tonight. Oh, bummer. Well, we'll try to get you on another night. It probably won't be till Wednesday, or maybe we can talk after you get back. I'd love to see. Or maybe we could talk on election. Well, Tuesday night which is election night. If you're still going to be there, that'd be great. We'll have to figure that out. But let's go through some funny memes here. Here it is. If Facebook existed in 1776, the British are coming. False information. Fact checked by independent fact checkers. See why. Not all the British, only the British Army. So partly false. I mean, this is exactly what's happening. Journalism is dead in this country. So, by the way, other news, the following states have signed on to be Second Amendment sanctuary states so far: Tennessee, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Mississippi, and obviously Arizona. Some other states are already there. And of course, we are seeing more shadow banning and stuff from Facebook. The latest thing that Facebook is doing is Facebook has actually shut down the Facebook page, the Facebook fundraising pages for, obviously, for Purdue and for Loeffler. Facebook company spokesperson tells me that the ad account was shut down because of an automated error and has since been restored. What bull crap. They just got caught. If they hadn't gotten caught, they wouldn't have done anything about it. It was shut down for supposedly violating the platform's unaccepted business practices policy. We don't promote products, services, or schemes using deceptive or misleading practices. What a sorry. I'm really ticked off. And then the most thing, obviously many of you know that I'm 100% Greek, and one of my namesake is a character from Greek mythology from Homer's Iliad. But there's a Massachusetts teacher that says she's very proud to have removed Homer's classic from school curriculum. Massachusetts said she's very proud of having removed one of Homer's classics. Wall Street Journal Cox Gordon revealed in a column that critical theory ideologies, school teachers, and Twitter agitators are purging and propagandizing against the classic texts, including Homer's Odyssey. And then the English teacher tweeted that she would rather die than teach the Scarlet Letter under the hashtag Disrupt Texts. A biography of a Twitter account, Disrupt Text, says it's a movement to rebuild the literacy canon using an anti-bias, anti-critical literacy lens. Oh, screw you. G. Martin is on her Twitter account that has now been restricted to those who do not follow her already, said June. Be like Odysseus and embrace the long haul to liberation, and then take the Odyssey out of your curriculum because it's trash. It's freaking mythology. Heather Levine, ninth grade English teacher at Lawrence High School in Massachusetts, replied, "Ha ha, very proud. We got to say the Odyssey removed from our curriculum this year." So she's restricted her Twitter account. Little crap. Homer credited with classics like the Iliad, from where my namesake is from. The Odyssey is a mainstay of literary studies. The Odyssey is an epic poem in 24 books that tells the story of Odysseus, king of a small island of Ithaca. Odysseus wandered for 10 years trying to get home after the Trojan War, but the action of the poem only covers the final 6 weeks. So, I mean, it just, what is our world coming to? The cancel culture. If you don't want to take a class with those classics, offer another class that has different reading. It just, it's the dumbing down of America. These classics are in context with the way things used to be. Oh, I know what I gotta. it just. I mean, you've got these people. I don't know. I'm losing it right now. Oh, wait a minute. I might have a visitor. Okay, let's try to get Patty on here. I'm going to add you to the stream.
I did. It looks like I had to get out of bed, by the way.
I can see you. How are you? Why don't you turn your phone horizontal? There you go. Oh, will it work? Oh, there you go. There you go.
Is that better?
That's better. How you doing?
Gosh, doing okay. So the mic is really bad, so I hope to be able to understand what you're saying. But thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you're down in Georgia right now. So you've been canvassing and things. Tell me what you're seeing, what you're doing out there.
Well, I tell you what I have seen from the very beginning. When we first came out here, people were really expressing. So we're doing the area that I'm in. We're doing Albany and everywhere from Albany, Macon, all the way down to Thomasville, Donaldsonville.
So like southern Georgia.
Right. So these are areas that during the election, people weren't even reached. So to have us there, they were like ready to talk about the presidential election. And so we're out here for the runoff election here in Georgia for these two candidates, Loeffler and Perdue. But so we heard a lot about the complaints, how this election they feel that was stolen. We've also heard a lot now, the concern now as we're only days off now, but concerns about, why should they come out and vote? What is preventing them from taking this election as well? But then we also hear the other side from a lot of voters that are like, we're going to go out there, we're going to vote, we're going to make sure, regardless of what happens, that our vote is out there, because they don't want to take that chance of handing this over to the Democrats and letting them get away with whatever they want. So it's been really interesting. A lot of really neat folks out here. They also believe in, ready to fight to see, what comes out on the 6th as well. So it's been a little bit of a buffet of interesting people's thoughts and so to speak. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now, how long are you going to be down there?
So on Tuesday, we will be working, it'll depend on what happens once the polls close. So as of right now, we're working till Tuesday night. And some of us will be working, I'll be working Doherty County once the polls close to once they start counting ballots. So as an observer representing the National Republican Senatorial Committee, that's who I'm working for right now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And okay, you went down, when you say we, who are you down there with?
I beg your pardon.
Who are you down there with?
I am here with a group of people from Wisconsin. You probably know Carlton Huffman.
Oh, sure. I know Carlton.
Yep.
So
that's who I'm working under. Let's see, Corey Christensen, she led the Catholic vote in Wisconsin.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. But there's
How many
a whole group of people from throughout the U.S. We've got people from Arizona, California, people from Chicago, from Illinois, New Mexico. So it's a variety of people that have been working, I believe. Some of them have been working on the Trump campaign, and they hopped on to this campaign here. Mm-hmm.
And how big a group of people?
I'm sorry.
How many people showed up?
A total of, in the whole state, I believe that there's close to, we started off with 600, and I believe now we're up to about 900 people throughout the state, working the state.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. And that's just from your group.
They poured a lot of money into the state. I mean, they have poured a lot of money into the state. So, yeah, they've got us out here working. We're working 7 days a week. We're knocking doors.
Oh, nice.
7 days a week. So I'm going on 50 50. It'll be 51 days on Tuesday, and we knock 7 days a week from 9 to 5.
Wow.
So
you're a busy beaver.
Definitely. Are we reaching people? We're trying to get the vote out. Most importantly, that's what we're trying to do, is get this vote out.
And what do you think? I mean, are the people, I know the people who are saying, why bother voting? Are you still trying to encourage them to vote?
Yeah, at first it was, why bother voting? Now, absolutely, that was our main purpose. Trying to convince them, hey, we're here. I take it on a personal level. Like, I'm here from Wisconsin. Why? Because I want to make sure that you know how important your vote really is for all of us, not just for your state, but for all of us. So then they take that into consideration and said, oh, okay, well, sure, I can see that. And they're like, you came all the way from Wisconsin? And now it's just getting people. Right now, our goal is to make sure that people have gone out to vote. If you haven't, how can we get you there? Have you sent? Well, it's a little, it's late for the sending in the ballots, but the other thing was having people to send in their ballots and getting them to go vote early. So we went through the different stages of this election process. And now today, since early voting stopped, is just trying to get people out to the polls.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing.
Are you guys worried?
I think that because it's a closer margin, um, I don't think we're too worried, but you just don't know. We still have that doubt. But the one thing that we were on a training call tonight for election night and what to expect. One of the things that's going to be a little bit different is we're going to be observing even closer the duplication of ballots. For example, this was brought up in our call. For example, when military ballot, right? They some of them get emailed, so they have to duplicate that ballot. So we have to keep a closer eye on those ballots, just for the fact that we know to look of what happened during the presidential election. So those are the things that we're looking at a little bit closer this time around.
Okay.
So yeah,
Ugh.
but it's been fun. It's been interesting, and Georgians are they're upset about what happened, and they don't want to allow it to happen again during this senatorial election. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate you out there doing that and helping fight the fight. I definitely couldn't get out there. Are you guys so you guys are gonna stay there? You're not gonna try to get to? Actually, what are you when you're talking to people? Are you hearing that a lot of people are going to be going to DC?
Well, no, not necessarily. So people were worried, are people going to, go to DC and not show up at the polls? No, they're showing up at the polls. The people that are going are probably have already voted.
Okay. Well, hopefully.
They've already made plans. The people that we have talked to that are planning to go to DC, yeah, they've already voted. That's why, they put in their ballots in and made sure that they voted. And we have people that are going from our group are actually leaving tomorrow night. Yeah, they're driving. Some people are driving. So I know it's
Well,
crazy, but
yeah, crazy. And a friend of mine reached out and said I should road trip. I'd like to go, but work obligations. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get adventurous and maybe he'll let me go. Maybe I'll have him come with me. But I'd want to drive because then I can carry. You can't really carry in an airplane. But okay, yeah, my friend. Oh, so Sherry's leaving for DC tomorrow, but I can't vote in Georgia. So she can't vote in Georgia. So of course, and there's people from all over the country that are going. I mean, this thing is likely going to be huge.
It is.
I hope it stays peaceful. I hope the crackpots don't show up. And
there's no way to find out till people are there. And from past, we know that we're going to have the other side show up and stir up trouble, and it's just going to be a matter of how the media is going to portray the Trump supporters. If there's don't you think? I mean,
Yep, it is, I think, but now we're seeing some other things. Of course, Ed saying Antifa will be there. All right. Well, I appreciate you popping on the show for a short time. Keep me posted on what's happening down there or up. Yeah, down there.
down there.
And safe travels. Stay safe out there. I mean, who knows how the election's going to turn out, and that I hope it doesn't get crazy if people aren't happy with the turnout either. So I don't know. But now I'm just getting a report.
Well, Kathy just posted on anything on Tuesday. We'll be out there. I'll send you a quick message or something. Right, we see something, I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody just brought up a friend who's reporting multiple explosions in downtown Pittsburgh.
Oh no.
I hope it's just like a gas main or something.
I hope so.
All right.
Y'all take care. Thanks for having me. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Thanks for popping on. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay, that was my friend Patty she's down there on the ground here. If you guys hear anything, I'm gonna come over here. Let me go to do a quick search. Pittsburgh. Let's see. Explosion in Pittsburgh. Okay. Well, I'm going to pull up an article. Pittsburgh Gazette. This is just breaking news, so to speak. Wow. I haven't had a breaking news story. I remember once I was doing a radio show and there was a reporter who was killed by a cameraman or something like that, that had just broken. And that was the last time I had a breaking story, but let's see what happens here. Pittsburgh police probe explosions in Lawrenceville Hill District. Pittsburgh police have responded to multiple explosions Sunday night. A device detonated on the 3600 block, blah, 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 in Lower Lawrenceville before the second explosion in DeWitty Street in the Hill District. The initial blast, the device was thrown from a moving vehicle where it struck a parked car. Officers said late Sunday the explosive was under the parked car when it detonated. And then no one was injured in that explosion. And the Pittsburgh police have confirmed in a tweet that the parked car was damaged. They blocked up Penn Avenue, including streets. Damages and injury for the second explosion are currently unknown. All police units have been cleared from the scene, and the road is to be reopened to the public. Video footage from the second incident is still being reviewed. So they have some video. Wow. This is I don't know. Wow. I don't know what to say. This is just I hope it's nothing. I hope it's something just stupid. I'm not going to speculate one way or another. Just reporting. So, at any rate, I am going to cut the show short. I was only going to be on a half hour tonight. Now an hour and a half. You're welcome, Hilario. It's wow. I'm really kind of bummed. This is not good. I'm going to try to that's very, very disappointing. I hope things don't get crazy. So I'm going to try to have a good sense of humor. I'm going to change it since the NFL and the NBA are doing it. I'm going to do it. Let's change my. Oops. That's. How's this working? Oh, wow. Can't change my background. That's weird. Anyway, well, I got a little, I don't like it when things like that happen because it's not good for it's just not good. I had I showed my fans. Sorry, guys. Wow. Yeah, got caught off guard by that. It's just guys, be safe out there. I hope it's something isolated, and things are bad when you hope it's gang related or something instead of being something more nefarious. Well, folks, I appreciate you joining me tonight. Thank you. I'm going to take a quick glance at my messages aren't refreshing here, so I have no idea. I'm sorry if you guys are saying anything. Well, people, have an awesome night. And, hopefully this year, starting out kind of confusing. I hope it all clears up soon. And I guess that's it. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled. I just don't like things like that happening. All right, everybody, have an awesome night. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.